Good evening and welcome back, everybody, to our journey of marriage. In the last session, we discussed the genogram, a family tree with a lot of family history. Just like it's important to know our family medical history, so we may take proper precautions as it relates to our health, it is important to understand the families of which we come from, so we may prepare or at least understand where we and our spouse are coming from. Essentially, our family of origin is where our foundation was set, our foundation for family, roles, love, and the expression of love, conflict resolution, expectations, habits, and behavioral patterns. After the last session, I asked you all to do a genogram of your own family to explore that family dynamics, how we interact with one another, our parents, our father, our mother, conflict resolution, how love was expressed, how were the roles for the mother and the father, the husband and the wife, to understand those different dynamics and understand the dynamics between the parents and the children and among the children. So I hope you guys did that, and we'll have a little discussion afterwards about your experience doing the genogram. But today, we are going to talk about the speaking and listening and the journey of marriage. And I found two videos that I thought were very entertaining and very to the point of part of husband and wife dynamics. So I'll invite you to watch these videos with me.
There are 5 questions that we ask you guys, and we need to stop. If we would stop asking these 5 stupid questions, our relationships would be so much better. How many spouses do we have together here in the room? Oh, you're going to love this, okay? Now I need a man. Let's see. Randy, come on up here. You're single, right? Oh, well, yeah. This is my only shot to be with single men and get away with it, okay? All right. Now, Randy did not know this was coming, correct? I don't do that. Now, Randy, here's the deal. You are going to represent every man in this room. You are the male representative at this moment. And because this is a taped, I guarantee you, you and I will be on YouTube by 2 o'clock tomorrow, okay?
I just want to make sure. Can everybody hear that?
Yes, we can hear it.
Okay. I don't want to watch the whole thing and nobody can hear it, because that's happened. Well, I didn't record it, but it's happened before where I played it and no one can hear it. Okay, we'll continue. Thank you.
Man, if he's doing okay, give him a thumbs up. If he's not answering right, a thumbs down. You just kind of go with your guys and try to do the right thing, but basically answer just the way a guy would answer. I am going to ask him the questions. And women, I want you to raise your hands, please. All ladies, hands up. Ladies, repeat loudly after me. I swear, under the Agile flag, I will never again in my life ask any man in my life any of these stupid questions. Okay, you did it. It's on tape. You're accountable. All right, let's back up a little bit so everyone can see us. Okay, Randy, we're going to pretend you and I are married. Kind of a scary thought. Stupid question number 1. Randy, we're getting ready to go out for the evening. I come into you. We're in the bathroom. Don't get ahead of me. Do you notice anything different?
Here's what I learned with
No. I got a speaker and I shouldn't have, because you think you can talk, but you can't because I'm talking. So you just have to be my husband, okay? You're just the husband, okay? Honey, do you notice anything different?
yes.
Oh, good. What?
You changed your hair color.
So you don't like my hair? I thought you liked my hair. Why would I change my, I mean, so what's wrong with my hair color? You think it needs changing? I mean, women, this is what you do. You watched it, right? It's what you do. It's sick. And it's cruel and it's mean and it's a setup. Ladies, you asking a man, does he notice anything different, is like him taking you into the garage, opening up the hood of the car and saying, do you notice anything different? Now, women, I want you to watch what's going to happen. Men, honest time. How many men in here are willing to answer anything to this question as long as you stay out of trouble? How many of you are even willing to be led to the right answer as long as she's not angry? All right, ladies, let's do what I call grown-up talk. How about if we did this? Hi, Randy. I just got a new dress and I think it makes me look kind of cute and sexy. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Women, I know women, you want compliments. Just tell them what to say, okay? They're willing to say it. You just got to tell them what to say. All right, question number 2. Women, never ask a man in your life again. Again, we're getting ready to go out. Do you think that this dress kind of makes me look big?
No.
You are being so sweet, and I appreciate it. But I really need the honest because I'm going out tonight. So be as honest as you can. Do you think, women, shame on you. Men, do not fall for that. She does not want the honest truth. She can't handle the honest truth. And women, shame on you. Don't you ever ask a man in your life again about your weight. You have a scale. Get on it. If the number's high, the butt is big. They go together, okay? You do not have to involve him at all. Bless his heart, he's just trying to act like he doesn't see it growing, okay? Question 3, what's your favorite sports team?
The Marlins.
Okay. Florida Marlins baseball. We are married. You have a 100-inch screen flat TV. You have a remote control, a cool drink, a box of snacks, a second remote. The Marlins are about to make the most amazing play in the history of mankind, and you're going to see it in real time. And this is going to be such an amazing play that it will change the nature of baseball forever. It's going to happen in about 3 seconds, and you're going to see it as it happens. Question number 3, never ask a man in your life again. So what you thinking? Women, it's about timing. With men, it's about timing. That's why they have halftime, okay? Question 4. We're in the Bahamas. We've had the most absolutely wonderfully romantic weekend. Question 4. Honey, do you think that woman is prettier than me? Of course she's prettier than you. You're the one that picked her out. If you want to know to that question, pick out someone 80, not a 23-year-old. And men, there's only one right answer to this.
I know the answer. What woman?
The score is now Randy 1, me 3. Yay! Okay. And question number 5. Last one, never to ask a man in your life again. You've had a horrible day at work, worst day that you've ever had in your life. Do you have a favorite chair or couch at home that you like to relax on?
Yes.
What color is it?
Black.
Black, ebony. We call it ebony. Okay, so, or maybe charcoal. It could be either one, but there's a difference. So, you have walked in from your worst day of work. All you want to do is get on that couch and relax. I intercept you. Question number 5. Honey, what's wrong?
Nothing.
Nothing? Nothing? I mean, something's wrong, Randy. I know you. I could tell the moment you walked in. I mean, did you have a bad day at work?
Yes, I had a bad day at work.
Oh, you had a bad day at work. Yeah, what about my day, Randy? What about my day? I mean, at least your day is over. You know, my day isn't over because now I have homework at BADS and my day is never over. And you know what our problem is, Randy? Okay, I'll tell you. Randy, we don't talk anymore. We don't communicate. You don't share with me. Where do you see our marriage in 10 years? You have no idea. Never mind. Just go. Really, just go. Oh. What? You just walked away? I can't believe you just walked away. We are in the middle of one of the most important discussions in our relationship. And you just, I wish I could walk away. I wish every time I didn't want something, I could walk away. Nice try. Randy, do you have any idea what I need? No. Okay. Let me tell you, Randy, I don't need your patronizing. I don't need you to fix everything. Sometimes, Randy, sometimes I just need a hug. Oh, not because I asked for it. No. I have to ask for it? Give him a hand. Thank you very much.
And here's a second one I like.
Sure. No. And sometimes it feels like it's right up on me. And I can just feel it, like literally feel it in my head. And it's relentless. And I don't know if it's going to stop. I mean, that's the thing that scares me the most is that I don't know if it's ever going to stop.
Yeah. Well, you do have a nail in your head.
It's not about the nail.
Are you sure? Because, I mean, I'll bet if we got that out of there.
Stop trying to fix it.
No, I'm not trying to fix it. I'm just pointing out that maybe the nail is causing.
You always do this. You always try to fix things when what I really need is for you to just listen.
See, I don't think that is what you need. I think what you need is to get the nail
See,
out.
you're not even listening now.
Okay, fine. I will listen. Fine.
It's just sometimes it's like there's this achy, I don't know what it is. And I'm not sleeping very well at all. And all my sweaters are snagged. I mean, all of them.
That sounds really.
Oh,
Come on. If you would just
don't.
try to see things my way.
So we have these two little videos. I thought they were humorous and brings us into the discussion of how to communicate with one another. And I warn people, don't play mind reading games. Don't expect the other person to read your mind. If there's something you need to say, speak the truth and express what it is that's on your mind. When there's an issue, speak of the issue. You don't target the other person. And I think these videos gave a simple preview, a simple illustration of some of the ways we handle communication, where we're not listening, or as in the second one, we're trying to solve the problem when we just need to be validated for our trouble. and so forth. But we'll get more into it as we proceed. So in this session, you'll be introduced to how speaking and listening in daily life can either help build oneness or push couples down the slippery slope towards divorce. Building on the previous session, this session illustrates what speaking and listening towards oneness what it looks like compared to speaking and listening selfishly. This session will present some basic listening skills to couples and connect these skills in the journey of marriage identified back in session 1. So the journey of marriage is speaking and listening towards oneness. Ladies, have you ever been driving somewhere together and gotten scared because of how fast your fiance is driving? What do you say when you get scared because of the speed? You're going too fast. Where'd you learn how to drive? You're a reckless driver. Or slow down, you're driving too fast. But what kind of comments are these? These are our criticisms. And we have the first horseman. Gentlemen, what is your response when your fiance says that you're driving too fast? No, I'm not. What kind of comment is that? You're defending yourself and you're driving, right? That's defensiveness. It's the third horseman. Both of you are already sliding down the slippery slope and you're still scared about how fast the car is going. Is there a better way? Yes, we speak and listen towards oneness. So speaking towards oneness, if we say focus on sharing your world, I'm scared, rather than criticizing his world, his driving, what would that sound like? Honey, I'm scared how fast we're driving. Honey, I'm not comfortable driving this fast. This is speaking towards oneness. It's inviting you into how I am feeling. Speaking towards oneness is about sharing your world rather than criticizing the other's world. I'm feeling car sick. I'm getting scared from the speed. It is a constructive criticism we talked about earlier. It's focusing on the problem, not the person, and it's talking about yourself, not your spouse, using I statements. So when you use the pronoun I rather than you communicate that you're talking about your world, yourself, your experience. So I am uncomfortable with your tone of voice. I really appreciate it when you ask me before making a decision. I'm disappointed that you still have not talked to your mother about Christmas vacation. This is sharing my world, my feelings. A proper response is to alleviate what that feeling is. You're not feeling comfortable with the tone of my voice. What can I do to help you feel what can I do to help you feel more comfortable? Well, I can lower my voice. I could speak softly to you. I really appreciate when you ask me before making a decision. What can I do to help you appreciate me? Oh, I'll talk to you before I make this decision. I'm disappointed that you still not talked to your mother about Christmas vacation. How can I alleviate your disappointment? I could talk to my mother, right? It's not a criticism towards the other person. It's addressing what is expressed in my experience in my world. Speak in this way rather than quit yelling, who died and made you, boss? You're afraid to talk to your mother. I statements help you keep your focus on your own world. Speaking towards oneness is about offering your whole world to your spouse. Your thoughts, I don't think we should spend our money like that. I would rather have some time just to be with you than be with your entire family. Your feelings, I'm scared, I'm sad, I'm happy. Interestingly, with your thoughts, just a comment on this, your thoughts, I don't think we should spend our money like that. A healthy response would be, how should we spend our money, right? An unhealthy response would be, fine, you decide, you make the decision, you figure out the budget. We're not sharing or we're not responding to what their concern is. We're not working towards oneness. We're getting defensive and we're cutting communication. When we're speaking about our feelings, I'm scared, I'm sad, I'm happy. Address what is it that's causing you to be scared? What is it that's making you sad? How is it making you happy or unhappy? Not taking a defensive position. Well, I'm sorry you're scared. I'm, I'm sorry you're upset. But rather, what is the cause of your scaredness? Well, the speed of the car may have nothing to do with his driving, just the speed of the car. What can I do to help you not be scared? I could slow down. I don't have to be defensive. I want to be helpful, right? And so speaking towards oneness avoids you statements. You never listen. You only want to do it your way. You don't ever help. The four horsemen, the blame, emotional reactivity. Speaking towards oneness communicates, I care about you and your world. I value your opinion. I value you and I love you. Speaking towards oneness is about sharing that world because we're getting married, right? We love each other, right? We should care about each other's feelings and comfort. Here are some examples of speaking towards oneness. I'm disappointed that you didn't call. It hurts me when you criticize my mother. I get scared when you raise your voice. I feel ignored when you make decisions without me. I feel cared for when you call. I appreciate it so much when you, as you can see, we are not talking about driving habits. We are talking about how to respond to every difference, difficulty, disagreement in daily life. We would focus on the subject of the statement. I am disappointed that you didn't call. I know there's like an I statement and a you statement, but the subject is my disappointment. It hurts me when you criticize my mother. Not you always criticize my mother, right? You always criticize, but it hurts me when you criticize my mother. Let's talk about the hurt you're causing me. I get scared when you raise your voice. It's not you, it's me. My problem is I'm scared, but my problem is our problem. When you raise your voice, I can no longer communicate effectively with you. What does speaking towards oneness require? Self-awareness. You can't share until you are aware of how you're feeling and what you're feeling and thinking. Sometimes that means you have to slow yourself down and become more aware of your inner world before you speak. They say when you're in a discussion and it gets a heated discussion, like you're arguing, and your heartbeat starts beating over like 110 beats per minute, the studies are showing that we get kind of like a tunnel vision where you can't communicate anything in a meaningful way. You can't understand what is being said to you in a meaningful way without the defensiveness and the stonewalling. And so we have to be calm and understand what is happening to me right now. I've had occasions where I started taking my pulse to recognize, hey, I am getting very upset. I don't hear a single word you're saying right now because I'm so upset. I need a few minutes to take a break, to calm myself down so I can see the bigger picture. So we'll need time to reflect, time to put into words what you feel and what you think, time to share together. It takes time to become aware of and clear about what you feel and think. Rather than sliding down the slippery slope, you need to slow down a little and reflect on what you really feel and think. You need to slow down to share respectfully with each other. This means that you have to resist the temptation to impulsively react, attack, and criticizing. So let's say you're in an argument and your blood pressure is going up and your heart rate is racing and you can sense yourself being upset and frustrated. Nothing anyone's saying is starting to make sense. There need to be a mechanism where we can say, I need a timeout. I need to cool down. I am so upset right now. Nothing is going to help until I can calm down. We need a timeout. Resisting these temptations to react, to attack or criticize requires self-control. To avoid sliding down the slippery slope, you need self-control. To speak with respect as you share your world rather than attack and criticize the other person's action. But as you get upset and angry or frustrated, we lose our self-control. And so we need courage. Courage to calm yourself down and try to identify your feelings and thoughts. Courage to discover what might be difficult, sad, scary, or painful to face. Courage to make new discoveries about yourself. Ladies, if you simply share that you are scared of the way your fiance is driving, what might your fiance do? He might ignore, he might dismiss it, might criticize, might mock it. Essentially, he might hurt you. And so it takes courage to share what you're really feeling. I am scared, not just that I don't like your driving, but the driving is scaring me. The way we're going fast, the way we're weaving in and out of traffic. The focus is how you are feeling. If you decide to share your world rather than attack, you open yourself up to being attacked, dismissed, ignored, or hurt again. You also open yourself up to becoming closer to each other, but closeness can be refused. Sharing your world takes courage because it makes you vulnerable. Sharing your world with your future spouse is an expression of love. I am trusting you with my feelings, with what I think about this experience. I am trusting you that you're not going to hurt me. I'm trusting you that you will understand and hear the words that I'm saying. I am trusting you that we will focus on the issue. I am scared. I am concerned. I am worried. Not so much the other things, but what I'm trying to address with you. But we also need love. When you open yourself up to each other, resisting the temptation to attack or criticize, this act of self-control and courage is also an act of selflessness. It's an act of respect and an act of love. Speaking towards oneness takes love, and it is an expression of love. So sharing your world says, I love you, and I want to grow with you in the midst of the daily activities of marriage. I love you, and I want to grow with you even though we have challenges. So listening towards oneness, we're back to the speeding car. Drivers, what choice do you have when the passenger shares, I'm scared with how fast you're driving? The temptation is to ignore it, to dismiss it, to criticize, to mock it, essentially to hurt your partner. You have a choice. Selfishness, dismiss, disregard, criticize, attack, or oneness. You listen. What's more important, to get there a few minutes earlier or to get there connected with your spouse? So listening towards oneness is about paying attention to your spouse's world and making your spouse's worlds, her feelings, thoughts, ideas, more important than your own at the moment. Listening towards oneness avoids evaluating, analyzing, blaming, ignoring, mind reading, or even problem solving. The listening towards oneness avoids the four horsemen and the slippery slope. It avoids the multitasking. We need to pay attention. I'm not looking for a response while I'm listening to you. I'm trying to just listen to you and understand what you're trying to say. Listening towards oneness avoids thinking about how to reply. Don't come up with your thesis as to why you're right. Listen to what we're being invited to experience. Listening towards oneness avoids finding problems and shortcomings with what your spouse is saying. So it communicates, I care about you and your world. I value your opinion. I value you and I love you when we listen towards oneness. So what does listening towards oneness require? Silence. I like this little picture. He's breathing and he's listening. He's breathing and he's listening. Honey, I feel scared when you drive this fast. Just listen. You're scared. That's the issue. Inside and out. Inside, calm yourself down. Taking a deep breath, counting to 10, giving yourself a timeout to listen towards oneness. Outside, not speaking, tracking what your partner is saying, following, being attentionally attentive to what they're speaking. Listening towards oneness requires time to listen to each other and to check in with each other. The temptation when listening is to react, to interrupt, to answer, to correct, to defend, to criticize, and to condemn. But these responses have no place in marriage. You don't want to interrupt your spouse. You don't want to jump and defend your position, because doing that avoids the listening. It avoids the responsibility of your role to your spouse. So it also requires self-control, not to go down the slippery slope, to criticize, to have contempt, to get defensive, not to react with what someone is saying. That's hard. You have to bite your tongue. You have to listen patiently and focus on the issue and not take everything personally to yourself. It's not a criticism of you, it's a criticism of the situation and how she is feeling or how he is feeling. Self-control is needed not to dismiss them when you don't agree. I don't think you're scared. Is that like a valid response? Honey, I am scared when you're driving this fast. No, I don't think you're really scared. It must be something, but she gets to decide how she's feeling. And it's our job to validate what they're feeling, to understand this is that experience. It may not be my experience, but that's your experience. So it takes real self-control to listen quietly when your spouse is speaking. So selflessness, it requires selflessness. Listening is about sacrificing yourself, your way, your ideas, your thoughts, your feelings, putting yourself aside in the moment for your future spouse. It takes real selflessness to allow someone else to speak, particularly when you disagree or when it is hard to listen. And it takes real selflessness to resist the temptation to react. So listening towards oneness requires love. When you control yourself and resist the temptation to attack or criticize, this act of self-control, this act of selflessness, is an act of respect and an act of love. So listening towards oneness takes love, and it is the expression of love. Listening to your spouse says, I love you, I want to grow with you in the midst of the daily activities of marriage. Dr. Gottman claims that a couple will have a successful conversation most of the time when the following two things occurs. If the wife, who usually brings up topics, has a slow startup, that is, if she speaks towards oneness, which means we're speaking about my feelings, my experience, my concern, my worry, rather than your actions, your words, your driving. So if the wife has a slow startup, that is, she speaks towards oneness. And the second thing is, if the husband attends to what she says, that is, if he's listening towards oneness. I hear what you said. I hear you said you were scared when we drive this fast. I hear that you are worried about our finances when we spend too much for Christmas. I hear that you are hurt when I say ugly things about your mother. I hear your concern. You're scared, you're worried, you're hurt, you don't like the criticism. And then we have an opportunity to attend. How can I make you less scared? How can I alleviate your worries? How can I not hurt you? So whether you're listening or speaking, in each exchange you have as a married couple, you have a choice between oneness or selfishness. In every exchange you encounter that fork in the road. It is in the very routine and daily exchanges of married life that God invites you, if you choose, to grow towards oneness. So we're going to talk through the rules, and this is something that I want you to practice with each other and figure out how this will work for you. And so speaking and listening towards oneness. We learn how to speak and listen towards oneness by practicing. And I will send you these slides so you can follow the instructions and take an opportunity to practice listening and speaking towards oneness. Because in the next session, We're going to have a series of questions for the both of you about communication, about problem solving, about finances, about parenting, about in-laws, about sex, about ethnic and religious differences and friends, and personal time versus couple times. We'll have a series of questions that, again, this is something you will do after the seminar, after the presentation, as your homework, to go through these questions and find out where you might have concern, and then to say, hey, I have a concern about how we spend money. I'm worried that we spend too much. I'm worried that we don't have a real budget. I'm concerned about how we don't calculate how much sex we have. This is very common in couples. The husband seems to think they never have sex, and the wife seems to think she's always having sex. These are serious challenges within a family that we need to line up to say, hey, what is appropriate? How do we alleviate my concern and work towards oneness? So when we speak about speaking towards oneness, we have these ideas. The speaker has the floor. Use a real object to designate the floor. Whatever it is, sometimes it's a piece of floor. Sometimes it's the remote control. We want something pretty concrete. We have actually given couples pieces of linoleum. So when someone says they have the floor, they really mean it. You can use anything, the TV remote, a pen, a paperback book. The point is that you have something, a specific object, because if you do not have the floor, you are the listener. And so as the speaker and listener, you have to follow the rules for each. Not only do you have the floor, but you have to share the floor. You share the floor over the course of the conversation. The speaker is the first one to hold the floor. After the speaker talks, you switch roles and continue. The floor changes hands regularly. This is a trust issue. You trust that you will have the floor when you need it, so you can pass it to your partner when he or she needs it. You don't hog the floor. No problem solving. When using this technique, you are going to focus on having a good discussion, not trying to come to solutions. When you focus on solving a problem, you are far less likely to hear what each other thinks about the problem. Your stuff, thoughts, feelings, and desires will distract you from listening. This is your chance to practice putting your stuff aside and just listen to your partner. Rules for the speaker. Speak for yourself. Don't mind read. Don't talk about your thoughts, feelings, or concerns, not your perceptions of the listener's point of view. Try to use I statements and talk about your own point of view and feelings. I was upset when you forgot our date is an I statement. I think you don't care about me is not an I statement. One of my biggest grievances is you never want to spend time with me. That is not true. I always want to spend time with you. I don't have all the time to spend with you. A correct statement would be, I feel like I don't get to spend enough time with you. My grievance is, don't tell me what I think. Tell me how you feel. I feel like we don't spend enough time together. But don't tell me what I think. Stick to your world when you're sharing, when you're speaking. Don't go on and on. This is my problem. You have plenty of opportunity to say all you need to. To help the listener listen actively, it is very important that you keep what you say in manageable pieces. If you are in the habit of delivering monologues, remember that having the floor protects you from interruption. You can afford to pause to be sure your partner understands. Number 3, stop and listen. Stop and let the listener paraphrase. After saying a bit, stop and allow the listener to paraphrase what you just said. If the paraphrase is not quite accurate, you should politely and gently restate what you meant to say in a way that helps your partner understand. This is not a test. You want to make it possible for the partner to understand you as well as he or she can. If they can't articulate what your problem is after you've just expressed it, you may need to use different words. Repeating the same thing over and over again doesn't help. So, rules for the listener. Paraphrase what you hear back. You must paraphrase what the speaker is saying. Briefly repeat back what you heard the speaker say using your own words if you like. And make sure you understand what was said. When you take the time to restate what you heard, you show your partner that you are listening. If you truly don't understand some phrase or example, you must ask the speaker to clarify. But you need to limit yourself to just asking for explanations. It's not an opportunity for rebuttal. It's just, this is what I hear you say. I'm a crazy driver. And then the other would say, no, I'm not saying you're a crazy driver at all. I am saying I am scared when we go this fast. Don't rebuke. Focus on the speaker's message. While in the listener role, you may not offer your opinion or thoughts. This is the hardest part of being a good listener. If you are upset by what your partner is saying, you need to edit out any response you may want to make and pay attention to what your partner is saying. Wait until you get the floor to make your response. You will have your chance. And when you do, you'll want your partner to extend the same courtesy to you. When you are the listener, your job is to speak only in the service of understanding your partner. Any words or gestures to show your opinion are not allowed, including making faces and specifically rolling eyes. We want to show respect, even though we may disagree. When we do these exercises, you can discern who will go first. Whoever holds the floor. You begin. I am scared when we drive fast. Every time we go somewhere, I get scared because we go so fast down the interstate. You have an opportunity to paraphrase. You get scared when we drive fast. It's a simple example, but it's easy to make it. You get scared when we drive fast, rather than, I hear you say you don't like my driving. I hear you say I'm a terrible driver. I hear you say I'm crazy driver. And then you give the speaker an opportunity to clarify. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. I am scared when we drive fast. Do you understand this? I understand that you are scared when we drive fast. It's not a criticism on my driving. And it gives the other person an opportunity to respond to that. When I hear you say you are scared when we drive fast, I have an option. I can ignore you and continue to drive fast, or I can adjust my speed. And the most selfless way to respond is slow down, because I have a lead foot and I want to drive fast. But we're working towards oneness. Okay, at this time, I'm going to stop the share, and then I will stop the recording.